Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have major updates from the Middle East as the U.S. military bolsters its presence in the region. Sean Diddy Combs is placed on suicide watch, and more. Let's dive into these important stories. U.S. sends additional troops to Middle East amid tensions. The U.S. Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, has approved the deployment of additional troops to the Middle East. These troops are on standby for potential evacuations of American citizens as tensions between Israel and Hezbollah continue to rise. Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Patrick S. Ryder confirmed that the U.S. is moving more military personnel into the region out of an abundance of caution. Currently, there are already 40,000 American troops stationed across the Middle East. Although the exact number of new deployments hasn't been disclosed, the additional presence follows a string of escalations between Israel and Hezbollah, who have exchanged a sharp increase in cross-border attacks over the past week. As tensions mount, the U.S. is also sending more firepower, with the USS Harry S. Truman recently departing for a scheduled deployment in the Mediterranean. The U.S. military buildup is seen as a precaution as the conflict continues to escalate. Sean Diddy Combs placed on suicide watch. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, currently detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, has been placed on suicide watch. Combs is facing charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, accused of leading a coercive sex trafficking ring. His defense team sought his release on house arrest with a $50 million bond, but the request was denied. Judge Andrew Carter ruled that Combs remains a flight risk and a danger to the public, keeping him in detention until his trial. His legal team continues to push for house arrest, citing poor conditions at the facility. The trial could have significant consequences for the star, whose defense is fighting against serious charges that include using drugs like ketamine to coerce victims. Israeli airstrike targets Hezbollah commanders in Beirut. Israeli President Isaac Herzog confirmed that an Israeli airstrike in Beirut over the weekend targeted key Hezbollah commanders. According to Herzog, these leaders were plotting a large-scale invasion of northern Israel, with the intent to capture or kill civilians. The strike reportedly killed several senior Hezbollah figures, including Ibrahim Akil, the head of the group's military operations. Israel claims the group was coordinating a plan similar to the Hamas-led attack in early October that left hundreds of Israelis dead. This preemptive strike by Israel underscores the heightened tensions along its northern border with Lebanon, where Hezbollah has ramped up its activities. Lebanese officials reported that 37 people, including children, were killed in the airstrike, and rescue efforts are still ongoing. Chemical leak triggers evacuations in Ohio. A chemical leak from a train tanker in Cleves, Ohio, forced immediate evacuations as authorities worked to control the dangerous situation. The tanker was releasing styrene, a chemical used in making plastics and rubber, and its fumes can be fatal at high concentrations. Residents were evacuated from Cleves and nearby Whitewater Township, and shelters were set up to assist those affected. Video footage showed firefighters working to contain the leak. The incident mirrors last year's Ohio train derailment, which also resulted in hazardous chemical exposure, further raising concerns about rail safety in the state. Visa faces antitrust lawsuit from U.S. government. Visa is facing a major antitrust lawsuit filed by the Biden administration, accusing the company of monopolistic practices in the debit card market. The Department of Justice alleges that Visa's dominance in processing debit transactions has allowed it to charge higher fees, negatively impacting consumers and merchants alike. Attorney General Merrick Garland stated that Visa's contracts have stifled competition, raising the prices of everyday goods and services. Visa has responded by saying the lawsuit is without merit, arguing that the debit space is competitive and that they are simply one of many players in the market. The case represents one of the more aggressive antitrust moves by the current administration. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to like and subscribe for more updates on these breaking stories. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next recap.